Alright, welcome everybody. I'm Agent Double O Funk, and we are going to be doing a quick little time lapse here of the city I'm working on called Oxahatchee. We're going for like late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s vibe, kind of southern Appalachian city. It's kind of where I moved to at that time in history, and I kind of want to recreate some of those visuals. So we do have a couple issues here. As you can see, I'm already working on something. This is not a complete start from scratch. Honestly, I thought I had the other parts recorded. Turns out that's not the case. I don't know what happened there. But we're starting here. This is the goddamn. I do have a flyover video for that here on the channel as well. You're welcome to check that out to see what the finished product was. This video kind of picks up after I finished building the dam. And is going to be the first parts of the little national park area that I'm creating adjacent to the dam. Did suffer some technical difficulties after this video. So there's going to be another little gap between the end of this one and the beginning of the next one. So you're going to kind of see like a before, and then we're just going to cut to an after in the next video. And I apologize for that. I think I've got all the technical issues sorted out. I think I know what's going on now. And hopefully from here on out, unless I just become senile and forget to hit record, we're going to have consistency and continuation. Yeah, I think that's the right word. Continuation. Anyway, so let's get looking at here what we've got going on screen. You know, I've been having some trouble with the road skins. They are not having the yellow boundary and center lane lines that I want. So here you can see I have just been very painstakingly putting my own center lines on there. We might go back and do the edge lines as well, but I'm also going to keep trying to figure out if there's a way just to change the default skin to that to a yellow line, because that would be the easiest. And it seems like some of the skins do work for that, with the exception here of this triple lane road, which we're using here to allow faster traffic to pass on the left as we go uphill here. You can see there's also some glitches with the water. For some reason, whenever I'm loading up the map, a wall of water has formed behind the dam, and it kind of crashes over there, and it gets caught in the nook and crannies. We're not going to worry about that right now. You'll probably see it kind of maybe looking weird, these weird water squares that are going to be here at the rocks there towards the bottom of your screen. So we're going to spend some time getting these roads kind of set up, doing a little bit of cleanup, you know, getting trees off the roads, that sort of thing. If you guys know of any way to make these roads, see, like that road does have the yellow center line. So some roads do, it does seem to be only affecting some of them. And that's something that I might just have to go in and take care of myself. You know, just putting a couple touches here on the little boat launch. We're gonna have another boat launch, you know, further upstream as well. We're also gonna do like maybe a kind of public beach area for the reservoir here behind the lake. Not sure what we're gonna do on the other side. Here on this side of the reservoir, this is gonna be kind of the public area, and we're gonna hook it up into like a little bedroom community on the other side of the hill eventually. Oh, I say that now, but you know, there's no telling what's actually gonna happen, because this is not planned out. This is all organic. I'm just building here kind of as I see things. I've got kind of a general idea of what I want to do here, and I know this is also kind of a strange place to start one of these city skylines sort of time-lapse videos is we're not really starting at the beginning, and that is due to my technical incompetence. But we're also not starting necessarily with a part of the city that you often see starting with, which is a hydroelectric dam and a national park. Usually you will see these videos and they'll start with residential or industrial areas, and that makes sense. And in most cases, that would be the appropriate thing to do. But one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and knock the dam out. I kind of not necessarily want it to be the centerpiece of the map, but a set piece, a landmark, something that you can navigate by the rest of the map by. And so that's why I set out to do this, and you can kind of see down there, try to make it look like a heavy-duty type of dam that's generating a lot of electricity. We are using mods, but I still do like to keep making sure that all my buildings are supplied by pipes and power lines and that sort of stuff. So we are not using those mods that don't that let you not use that. We are still using those. And so we do have a little sewer system built into the dam that collects water upstream and dumps it back downstream. I don't think dams actually function that way, but for our imagination's sake, we'll just call it like a release valve or something like that. So here we can see we have a little park entrance, a little parking there near where the boat launch was over there to your left. And now we're going to go here into the rest of the national park area. And this is going to be kind of, the lower side of it, where we're going to have some cabins and some chalets. And, this isn't necessarily a camping ground, but, if you've been to some of the bigger national parks, they do have these sort of not necessarily neighborhoods, but these areas that have cabins and walking trails and, that sort of thing. So we're going to get started on that here. One thing I do have to say that you will notice change big time in the next video is that the ground here is it's for fall. I do have a seasonal mod installed at this time, and in game time it has become fall. I'm going to remove that mod by the next video. Because frankly, kind of the image I want to go for, sort of the motif is, like I said, that late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, sort of summer vision of, a kind of sort of medium, small-sized Appalachian town, which the name itself here, Oxahatchee, is based on some names from the local area smushed together, including the city that I live in. So I'm going to take a sip of water. You guys also have to bear with me here. This is my first attempt at narrating a video that I have already played. If you have any questions, please get in touch with me. If you're looking for any of the props I'm using, I'd be happy to share what those are. I've got way too many of them. But if you see something that you're like, hey, wait, I haven't seen that before, point it out, and I'll see if I can find it for you and get you the download location for that, so you can have it in your own game. There should be a mod list eventually. It's not up to date just yet. I need to update it with the mods that I've got in here. But once I kind of figure out if there's any more that I need to add or need to get rid of, I'm going to solidify that and, share that on this page. I'll come back and add it. But I think I want to get a little bit further into the city proper before I, say, hey guys, these are the mods I used throughout. So we just want to finalize, make sure we're getting the right stuff. Okay, so anyway, back here to what's going on screen. As you can see, I've plopped a couple of different houses down. We've combined some. When I'm trying to build these things, I kind of tell myself a mental story of how this place came to be. And in my mind, this used to be a sort of Boy Scouts camp, something like that. So that you have those little bunk type houses up there. That's kind of the original part of the camp, and then over the years it was just kind of opened up for everybody. And you can see some people have built their private little homes there, their summer homes, or their weekend homes, or whatever. And so here we're going to flatten out a little peninsula to kind of keep that summer camp thing as well. Because like I said, in my mind, this area kind of started as summer camp for kids, and it kind of grew up from that. So we're going to try and put some of those sorts of things in here throughout the camp, some kind of throwbacks to its original use as like a Boy Scout camp or some kind of something like that, some kind of kids summer camp. We're also going to, so this is one entrance to the park here from the dam. We're also going to add a more formal entrance up here towards the top of the hill, where we're going to have probably a 4-lane road. I might stick with just 2 lanes, but we'll see. That's going to kind of connect this to that little bedroom community I mentioned earlier. Which, if y'all have any names, I'm going to try and just stick with jumbling some local names here together to kind of name these different areas that we're going to be building. But if you have some names that really jump out to you, that you kind of think of quintessentially Appalachian or something like that, you can definitely let me know, and we'll find a way to add it. So here you can kind of see it's going to be kind of the lodge or the welcome center, whatever you want to call it. We're going to put a little gatehouse right here next to it, kind of the way down to the reservoir. I spoke a little too soon. We haven't gotten to the gatehouse. We're still finishing the parking lot here. And so for those of you who are familiar with City Skylines, this is, you guys know detailing is simultaneously really enjoyable, almost zen-like, but at the same time it can sometimes be very daunting when you're looking at a big area that you're going to do all these small little details in. And I apologize to say that the video where I put the trees here on this hill is not going to be included, but you're going to see the after of that. I'll be happy to show that in the next video. And so just for you guys who haven't played this, or even for you guys who have, if you're wondering, I have sped things up by 700%. So you can do the math on how long this video is and just multiply that by 700%, and you kind of get an idea of how long this took to make. It does take a while, and you see sometimes I might be looking something up or getting up and going to the bathroom here throughout the time lapse. I try to edit those out as much as possible, but sometimes it was just a little too finicky, and I thought, well, maybe I just need to talk anyway. So you can see I'm starting to put some roads through here, but then eventually I decide, no, you know what? We don't need roads. We need pedestrian paths. So I'm going to get rid of those. I need some of pedestrian paths. Because, like I said, I want to kind of have this area to a hiking area where you can hike through. You have a little cabin up here. You can walk through the forest and walk down here to the reservoir. I was tempted to put some trailer homes in here, but I thought, that doesn't really, I don't think that would be really, that would be frowned upon in a national park, I imagine. And so here's one of those common frustrations you sometimes get in City Skylines. You can see, trying to get this lined up just right. Kind of create these little glitches sometimes where the road skins kind of glitch out. So we're just going to continue adding this little pass here, some more cabins up at the top. So a lot of these, this is going to look totally different in the next video, because like I said, I'm going to delete the seasonal mod. Because we're just going to kind of stick to a summertime look throughout, because that's, like I said, that's the aesthetic I'm going for. You're also going to see that there is going to be a change in lighting. I'm going to adjust the lighting settings a little bit to kind of give it that crisp, bright summertime in the south, with just a little bit of haze. You know, it is humid. Outside, you'll hear the dogs. They're just outside their room right now. They're just playing with each other. So here you can see we're going to start designating the area for the national park. We're going to call the whole bridge part of it. It's a little landing area. And we'll get into here and designate the rest of the area as a national park. And we'll probably come back and edit that, clean that up a bit. Probably going to enlarge it too to the other side, because like I said, we're going to try and have this also just be a national park where you just have natural features. You might do some hiking trails through there, maybe one or two dirt roads, kind of leading out into the wilderness to some primitive campsites. But we haven't gotten that far, and I am kind of tempted to get started on building some sort of city, some sort of town, before coming in and finishing off the other side of the park and the other entrance, because I'm not sure how I want that to flow just yet with the potential town that I'd be building over there. So again, you can kind of see here, just going in, starting some of the detail work. Unfortunately, what I thought I filmed, but I didn't, is going to be a lot more of the detailing. That can be zen-like to watch, I guess. And I guess it's at this point I should mention the music that you're hearing in the background is by my good friend Stefan. You can find him on Spotify. I'm going to have a link to his website below if you're interested in contacting him for some music. He does make custom music. So, you know, if you're looking into making your own videos and you need some relaxing music or some cool music or whatever kind of beats you need, you know, give Stefan at Beatmonks Productions a holler, and he'll do you right. So we can kind of see what the shape of this portion of the park is. I haven't quite started working on that little summer camp portion that I mentioned earlier. I'm not sure if that's actually going to be in this video or in the Gap video. We'll see here in a little bit. And so I do like having the names of these roads on here. Sometimes it names sections of roads that don't really need a name. In that case, I'll just name it period or something like that, so it doesn't really appear on the screen. And the dogs really are going crazy if you're paying attention. So another thing here that you might be noticing is that I started building this before the park's expansion was released, and I kind of stopped because I knew it was coming out, and I thought, well, you know, I'm working on a national park, so I might as well hold off until that expansion got released, which is what I did here. And so that's why the construction video for Goddamn isn't there. That was all pre the park's DLC. And so now I'm kind of going in and adding some of the little buildings that were included in that DLC, adding them here. That little observation deck. I kind of made my own observation deck. You might have noticed it. It's kind of just I used a quay and just kind of extended it out into the canyon part ways, and that kind of worked. That observation deck obviously is a little bit nicer with the viewing platform there at the top, so I'm glad that they released that. But you know, you can kind of make your own observation platforms as well, just kind of, you know, using the quays or elevated path and things like that. Just kind of depends on what aesthetic you're going for. And so yeah, here we're getting started here on the kind of little summer camp area, or what I consider like the little summer camp, maybe play, not necessarily play area, but you know, this is where they're gonna have their campfires and you know, play those old summer camp games. So here we're just trying to add some paths. I have been having some trouble with the Buildings Anarchy mod. I'm not sure what that's about. If anyone has any experience with the Buildings Anarchy mod, about it kind of quitting halfway through, or quitting during gameplay rather. Yeah, if you have any advice, if you have any experience dealing with that, I'd love to hear from you and know what you did to keep it stable, or if you know if it has any mod issues with other mods. Okay, so we're just going to add a few more touches here. Just adding a couple more piers to this little area. I do plan on adding a bigger boat launch, and like I mentioned, the public beach area up on the other side here of this little visitor center. Sometimes, and if I'm doing something wrong, guys, if I've got a setting wrong that you know of to explain why that pier was behaving that way, please let me know. I'd love to hear from the people who have a little experience here, especially those who have running modded games, kind of issues you might have had and how you worked around them. Okay, so we're getting here towards the end of this first video. Again, I'm Agent 00 Funk, and this is City Skyline. This is the Oxahatchee build. And, yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you, I know it really wasn't much here for a first video. Please excuse my progress. Hopefully the next one will be a bit better. And you'll see kind of what happened to this whole area before I move on. And either to the other side of the park, or start building a small little town somewhere, or whatever the hell else I decide to end up doing. But for now, I think I'm about to wrap it up here. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope you'll hit the follow and subscribe button, and you'll come and join me as I finish building Oxahatchee. Thank you again, guys, and have a good night.